Hello and happy Halloween, Gemini. Welcome to As I See You Tarot. Thank you for clicking on this video. This is a 5-card tarot card overall energy reading for the time between October 16th and October 31st, 2020. It is a general reading for the larger collective of Geminis, and it's intended for informational purposes. The information may not resonate with every Gemini, and please understand that, and it's totally okay. Take what fits and let the rest go. To save time, I've already shuffled the cards and requested the universal guidance in the cards that were selected. They were injected on their own during the shuffle. The 5 cards that were exited during the shuffle for this overall energy reading during this time period are lined up here. This first card here represents the overall energy of past influences that were significant within the last few months. In some cases, these overall energies may have resolved, and in other cases, they may still be lingering. The second card here represents the current overall energy during this time period of what the present energy is for the overall collective of Gemini. The third card here represents the overall energy for future energies that haven't occurred yet or will be occurring within this time period. The fourth card represents the overall challenges. The challenging energies that are present for Geminis. Keep in mind that the challenges do not imply they're anything negative. They're simply things to be aware of, and then oftentimes they're just basically choices that you need to be making or to deal with. And finally, the fifth card represents the overall energy for the outcomes, the outcome energies during this time frame for overall energies. So we'll start right here. Sorry, most of my cards up here. In our past influences, we have the Two of Swords. Angels and spirit guides, please help understand why the reasoning for the Two of Swords being in Gemini's past influences in this energy reading. Well, Gemini, the Two of Swords here indicates that in your past influences in the last couple of months, many of you were facing some sort of challenging decision. I'm picking up that many of you were sort of unclear about which option that you needed to take. It appears that the possibilities that you may have been looking at the time both appeared equally good, or they could have been equally bad, I guess. And many of you were sort of stumped about, which will lead you to the best outcome that you were looking for, that was specific to your situation. I think that many of you were able to sort of weigh up the pros and cons for each of your choices, and then I think I pick up that many of you were able to sort of make that conscious judgment. I'm picking up that many Geminis, you were able to use both your head and your mind, and your intellect, and your heart, and which was your feelings and intuition, and to help you choose the right path that was in most alignment with your higher self during this period. In this particular reading here of the energy reading, it's helpful to sort of draw upon, I guess what I'm picking up here is that if you sort of draw the Two of Swords next to another card, you're going to you sort of pick up the balance. For instance, if there was a four of cards in the deck that came up, you would have been able to sort of see those pros and cons for each choice. Now, I don't know. We'll find out if that shows up in your reading here. Keep in mind that the woman on this card sort of depicts a blindfold, or she's looking down sort of narrow-mindedly. It's indicating that she's not looking forward, she's not looking up, she's not looking sideways, she's looking down. So basically at her feet, which means at the time, Geminis, you might have been dealing with your sort of a portion of your circumstances that you were dealing with, and not looking at the overall issue or the entirety of whatever your challenge was. And perhaps many of you were sort of lacking information that you needed to make sort of the right decisions, or it could have been possible delaying those decisions that you were trying to make. You might have been missing some some sort of information, such as there could have been like threats or potential risks, depending on what the project was, if it was business related, or you could have been missing alternative solutions, or even critical pieces of information that would have helped you sort of guide you in your particular direction. But I think what I'm picking up here, that for Geminis that were able to sort of look up and sort of remove those hidden agendas or those blindfolds, so to speak, and sort of look around and were open to all aspects, you were successfully able to make a much better decision, and you were in a much better position to choose the right path for you at the time. So it was important, and hopefully Geminis, you were able to sort of sort that out, and those that did, your options helped guide you to make that right decision. And it was also reminded you sort of it's important to ask for outside opinions and feedback, because those sort of things could have helped make a speedier decision at the time. I'm also picking up here that the Two of Swords here also can reflect indecisions and or sort of a stalemate. And perhaps there were some Geminis that never got past the decision-making portion of it, because you just sort of you reached the stalemate. And again, if that occurred, for those Geminis, you can only put it off so long, and perhaps you were delaying making a decision, but at some point you're going to have to make a move, and perhaps that's going to be carried over here. The Two of Swords comes as a reminder, Geminis, in your past influences, that it's life's decisions, and typically are the most difficult ones, and rarely will come with clear-cut answers. So you were encouraged, Geminis, during this past influences, to sort of take the invitation to make your choices and make the best with the best intentions, and make sure that you're fully aware of all possible consequences. Because if you're going to avoid a situation, we know that avoidance only leads to greater conflict and sort of stagnation, and doesn't accomplish much of anything. So, yeah. In our second card, in our present energy, we have the Moon. Now, this is a major arcana card, and it's very timing, because we have the Moon going on right now here during this time period. Angels and spirit guides, what is the message here for the Geminis for the Moon during this time period, please? Well, Geminis, we know the Moon represents fears and illusions, and often comes when you might be projecting sort of a fear into your present and or your future situation, and that could be based on your past experiences. For some Geminis, I'm feeling that you may have a painful memory that is causing sort of an emotional distress. Some may, and well, as a result of that, you may be dealing with the emotions that you've either repressed or you push down into your subconscious. As we know, that typically happens when you don't deal with repressed feelings. Now, I'm picking up that these emotions are making sort of a reappearance for some Geminis during this period with the new moon, and perhaps more extreme than others. Some Geminis might find yourself under the influence of sort of that unconscious and subconscious sort of level. And an example they're telling to me is sort of like if you were in a car accident when you were at a young age, and you didn't really deal with the drama of the car accident, and then all of a sudden the emotions come up, or you get sad or anxious every time you get into the backseat of a car or hear a screeching noise or something like that. To remedy this, what this card, the Moon here in this present time is basically giving you the opportunity to connect with your subconscious mind and to release any fears and anxieties that you're perhaps holding on to. You can even just release the energy of yourself, just release whatever it is, and put it out there to the universe. Or for some, you may need to go to hypnosis, or you may need some sort of professional training. I mean, if it depends on the severity, but please, it's in your best interest to take care of it, depending on the severity level and depending on how it's impacting you. But the key here for you Geminis is if it's affecting you, it's important that you release it, because you're going to be stagnant if you don't. The Moon here indicates sort of a time of uncertainty, and it's usually about illusions. And it also presents when nothing. So I kind of laugh because it also often gives situations, where nothing is what it seems. So it's usually it's wise to be cautious um, during when there's a moon phase here before you start making fast decisions, because when the moon appears, typically because later you may realize you only had half the information. So it's very similar to your past influences here, that it's, if you're needing to make decisions in your present situation, it's important that you have all the information and not make half decisions. So it's important, Geminis, that you listen to and trust your intuition so that you can see beyond what's in front of you. It's important that you feel the situations rather than just rely on your thinking. And we know, Geminis, you're good at the thinking part, but you got to connect that feeling and the thinking. It's about let going of your conscious mental blocks and negative sort of self-talk that may be occurring, and allowing your intuition to guide you. Because your dreams and intuitions and inner guidance, those things will lead you toward that higher level of understanding that you're seeking. And if you just listen to them and use your sound judgment, it will help you interpret the messages in your subconscious. On the other hand, for Gemini, when the moon appears here in your present energies, it's about paying close attention to the lunar cycles and attune to its divine power, using sort of rituals or meditation or visualization. And we know we're in a retrograde coming up here, so it's going to be affecting a lot of individuals, so pay attention to that right now. Connect, it's important for Geminis, with this moon here right now, it's important to sort of connect with your divine feminine part. And that doesn't mean it's a softer side, it's not gender based, instead of the masculine qualities. Because, it's going to help you uncover sort of that deep intuitive insights and visions that sort of lies beyond, the everyday life. It'll open up your mind and sort of open you and create a bigger awareness. Gemini, the new moon here is about setting your intentions, and it's about planting the seeds for any sort of opportunity that you may want, so that it can grow over time. And of course, as the full moon, goes on, it's about honoring your achievements and looking at what you need to release so that you can enjoy and bring new aspects of yourself forward, and you're able to shine. So again, with the retrogrades and things going on right now, again, it's very important to understand the lunar cycles. But really the takeaway here is about releasing any negative energy or anything that's holding you back, because it's no longer serving your best good. And this is an opportunity to do it in order to move ahead. And our third card, our energy here for our future, is the Queen of Pentacles. Now, you do happen to have the Queen of Pentacles in reverse here, so it's going to be an interesting one. Angels and Spirit Guides, please help us understand why the Queen of Pentacles is in reverse for Gemini during this period. What is the overall energy for Gemini during this period, please? Well, Geminis, we know when the Queen of Pentacles is in the upright position, that typically signifies it's about focusing on nurturing and providing for others. However, it's for you in your future energy in this time period, it's in reversed. So this is sort of indicating that that you're turning sort of that caring energy more inward and versus outward to other people. It's indicating that many Geminis, you're sort of creating you're monitoring and wanting to create a financial independence, and it's about working on yourself, whether it's working on your own finances or your own independence, about perhaps working for yourself or starting your own business, or wanting to independently have your own lifestyle and your own income. There still may be partnerships or family that are involved, but and of course it's important to keep them involved. But what I'm picking up here for many Geminis, it's about sort of wanting to be and demonstrating some sort of independence at whatever level, and that's really to be about being yourself, either, especially for your future. You may have separate savings, accounts, and you may want to start developing sort of long-term investment planning to ensure that you can take care of yourself in the future as needed. Um, the Queen of Pentacles in reverse also suggests, Geminis, that some of you are nurturing yourself on personal level, and you may be preparing, perhaps changes from wanting to eat better to fixing more nutritious meals, perhaps wanting to go on a retreat and sort of revitalize yourself. It's generally just paying more attention to yourself and to your own personal needs. You're going to find yourself wanting to tend to your own energy and getting better sleep. It's about, not in a selfish way, it's just about being mindful about wanting to care for you first and put your energy into you to make that sure that you're whole and that you're at your best. This is And some of you may be feeling a little guilty doing that, but this is saying trust yourself. You need it. And trust that the work and your family and all the other external sources will survive without you for a short period of time while you focus on you. Because right now it's important in this future setting here to focus on you at whatever level. Also, the Queen of Pentacles reveals that that there's could be challenges in your work and home life. And some Geminis may be balancing or trying to figure out how to balance that, and perhaps there's too much energy going into work and not enough energy going at home, and you're feeling sort of that pressure, or it's just your internal pressure. Um, you know, Again, some may be consumed by your jobs, spending too much time at the office, or traveling, or whatever sort of business related thing, or committee or church group or something like that. Just something that's external, that where your energy is going, and you're feeling sort of that pull between whatever time you need to spend at home, or with your significant other, with your children, or whoever, or even by yourself. You're not finding that time, and so you're feeling sort of this energy pull. You know, it's suggesting that if you are feeling that, to start looking at solutions. See if you can work from home, see if you can cut down some hours even temporarily, to sort of, and it goes in line with sort of taking care of yourself right here. So those two things in your present energy and your future, I'm picking up a correlation about the importance of making sure that you're okay, and sort of do that balance and check of even if it's short term, it's just important to do it for your own sort of mental health and your physical health. um, you know the Queen of Pentacles also points to sort of that an inner conflict as well, and it's about balancing sort of the work and personal priorities. So if you're feeling that you haven't been able to do it consistently, or it's got out of hand again, um, it's about paying attention to it and trying to find the balance between work and home, or external stuff. And reminding yourself that you can't do everything, and at a certain point something has to go if it's taking its toll. And this is your opportunity to sort of to do a self check on that, to see does it match your priorities of where you want to be. Is it truly making you happy, or is it making you miserable? So, in some sense, you may have to work out new agreements at work, or if you have a partner or a roommate, to make out new agreements about, sharing home responsibilities or chores or something like that. It's about not taking on overcommitment, because you're not going to do anybody any good if you are overcommitted and burnt out. So, it also is a sign that if you can, get help at home. See if there's someone who can help you at home with if you have children, or cleaning or something, your parents, anyone, if you can't afford it, or housekeepers. Just, it's about looking around to see if you can just get any sort of help, and even if it's a minor help, it would be helpful to you. So, taking care of yourself, nice theme here, Geminis. And our challenges, we have the Princess of Wands. In other tarot cards, it's also the Page of Wands. However, we have this in reverse. Now, keep in mind, we know the pages in all the tarot cards are, in this deck, it's called the Prince or Princess. They're typically about messages. So, angel and spirit guides, what is the message here of the Princess of Wands being in the challenges here for Gemini during this time period, please? Well, I'm picking up here that the Page of Wands in your challenges here in this time period is, is about, some Geminis, you may be feeling inclined to give anything and everything up, or a go, like too much of abundance of energy. You perhaps may want to be embracing, sort of that opportunity to start out on a new journey or a new project, and just see where it takes you. Um, you don't necessarily have to have a solid plan in place, and you don't really know where you are going or headed, but it's just that feeling. You're feeling a need for change, and there's a feeling of excitement about the possibilities. That's really critical. I'm picking up here. You know, Geminis, many of you have sort of a gift for dreaming. You're very creative, and and you're able to sort of balance the burdens of everyday life for the most part. But right now, there's something that for many of you, there's a dream or something that you wishful thinking, and right now it seems to be a focus, and your challenge here is about what do you do with it. So, you know, Gemini, keep in mind that the appearance of the Prince of Wands or the Messenger indicates typically that Gemini, you're experiencing some sort of creative restlessness, and it's and on one hand though you're sort of one foot is on the ground and one foot's in the air, like, but you haven't quite made a move. It's an if or then, so you haven't quite solidified it, basically, is what I'm picking up here. So this card here, the page here, or the Prince of Wands, is the message for you in that case is about, in order to get your creative spark sort of off the ground, you need to be reality based, and to help you with that is about basically mapping out a strategy. It's critical to sort of get it out of your head and the thoughts that sort of randomly go through your head, and map it out, put it in writing, create a few strategies and a few sort of alternatives, and make sure you look for obstacles and stumbling blocks before you take a committed route or make a decision. That would be very helpful, and it will guide you sort of through the process, and also sort of guide you if the path you're choosing is really the path that you want, that's most aligned in your broader goals. The Page of Wands here, the Princess of Wands, also can appear for spiritual growth and journey, and that may be calling upon some Geminis right now. I'm picking up sort of some are having a curious, thoughts, and your mind is sort of intrigued to see what this curiosity is about, and where it may lead. Perhaps some Geminis may not having a lot of information, but something perhaps has struck your fancy. Some kind of you saw something and you want to learn more about it. So this is your opportunity to sort of educate yourself. It could be based in the spiritual endeavors, holistic, but it's basically I'm picking the feeling that this energy that you're wanting to seek there's a feeling that you're wanting to discover sort of new levels of consciousness, and that you have this feeling that you're going to benefit from searching it, and it seems, and this card right here is saying go forth and do such. It's also sort of encouraging, if you need sort of assistance, is find a mentor, find someone who has walked this path of this unknown energy that's before, or do Google or research it to sort of help you make more sense of it and sort of guide you to bringing it forward, and you'll be able to move forward with it. So you have a challenge. And finally, in our outcomes, we have another major arcana card, and it is the Hangman. However, we have the Hangman in reverse. So, which is this way. So, angel and spirit guides, help us understand why the Hangman here is in this energy reading for Geminis, please. Well, Geminis, when the Hangman is in the upright position, it's a strong indication, and strongly encourages for you to pause. and pause for a moment and sort of, reassess things, and perhaps, and it's giving you an opportunity to see things from a different perspective. However, in the reverse position, you know, it it basically is sending the message that you know what you need, uh, you know what you need to do to hit the pause button, I guess, but you're resisting it. So perhaps this is something like, you've been given an offer, or you want to buy a house or buy a car, or someone to loan money, or purchase something, and there's a part of it, your guts on one hand telling you hold off, but your other side of you is like, oh, just pursue it, damn it, let's go. I think because it's in reverse for many Geminis right now, it's basically saying pause, don't go forward, trust your intuition, because if you don't do it, you're gonna fill your days with a variety of tasks and projects, and keeping yourself busy and distracting yourself, from the actual issue that really needs your attention. So if you proceed without focusing on what it is, this decision that you're wanting, it's probably not going to be this decision and outcome that you want. So this card here is forewarning you in your outcomes to pause. It's important to take the time to pause and sort of rethink what it is that you're doing, and focus, let everything else go for a moment, and just focus on what it is that you're pausing about. And you maybe find that you're able to proceed forward, but on the other hand, you need to listen, sort of what we call the gut reaction. If your gut is sixth sense or whatever else, that's something, I shouldn't buy this or go in that direction, this is saying listen to that. So it's about stopping and resting before it's too late. Keep in mind that the universe will only dial up on the volume if you ignore it. So when this card's showing here, this is basically the universe telling you that you're ignoring something, and you need to pay attention to it before you crash, in an essence. So as soon as you are hearing this call, to sort of pause and your gut reaction, if you haven't heard already, this card is saying do it. Do it, do it, do it. Pause, pause, pause. And take the time to tune in and sort of listen to what this universe or this energy or whatever is going on to you, because it'll be in your best effort. For some Geminis, you may already be in a position where perhaps everything has been put on hold. And in this case, you're feeling a lot of frustration because it's in hold. So in this case, the reversal of the Hangman is going to indicate, that you're getting blocked, and you're feeling stuck and you're feeling restricted, or it's because other people or other circumstances have left you out on hold, and you're not sure where to go with this. So there's feelings of hesitancy and frustration. So in this case, if Geminis, you're feeling this, it's important that you surrender to what is, and let go of your attachment to how you think it should be. This is about right now going with the flow of life, and letting go of a time frame that you think something was going to occur, and because it's absorbing energy that you don't need. And it's not going to happen any faster. So this is about just letting it go, putting it out to the universe, and just doing an affirmation of you'll accept it when it comes. That you'll get through it so much easily. And remember, things don't always go as expected. So in this case, it's sort of reminding you it's in your best interest to just loosen your grip. It'll come, but it's not going to come if you're gritting your teeth. And it probably will come a little bit faster in many cases. So again, Gemini's in the reverse here. The card is indicating for all the collective is some sort of pause. That, and see this as pause as a positive sign. That the universe is sort of saying, just take a moment, smell the roses, reassess, and then proceed if everything's okay. But it's also the opportunity to stop and not proceed if something isn't right. And that's the message that this card is sending you, Geminis. You may find that things will line up with more ease and more flow after you do this pause. and then you'll be ready to go again. So there could have been sort of that a breakthrough or a stark realization about how you see things differently with that pause. Maybe things aren't the same way. So be prepared to sort of take these changes slowly and move ahead with a new mindset. So see the pause as a good thing, and embrace it, and then move forward, and you'll be fine. It's a good sign. So Geminis, there we have it. So thank you so much, Geminis, for watching this video. I greatly appreciate it. And if you would like to support this channel, the YouTube algorithms depend on the support of three major things, and that's what I call the big three. It's clicking on the like button, it's clicking on the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything. You won't get spam mails, you won't get anything. It's an algorithm. And it's important to click the notification buttons, because again, you won't get notified or anything else. You'll just get a little button at the bottom of your YouTube. It's hardly even noticeable, but it's vitally important for YouTube algorithms, and it's important for the support of my channel. And if you feel such support, I would greatly appreciate it, and share the videos, of course. But Geminis, overall, happy Halloween. Feel free to leave a comment if you feel any part of this reading was applicable to you. And again, if it didn't resonate with you, or a portion of it didn't resonate with you, it's totally okay. It just wasn't meant for you at this time. So again, I thank you so much, and I hope you have a happy and safe Halloween, and enjoy, and thank you again, and appreciate it. We'll see you in November.